death or murder of the Russian opposition leader, Alexei Navalny, in a maximum security prison in the Arctic Circle, to which he had been transferred by President Vladimir Putin's regime in December, caused worldwide outrage. The main leaders accused Russia of the activist's death just 1 month before the presidential elections, in which Putin is running unopposed. The German Chancellor and the President of the United States, along with other world leaders, such as Latvia and Ukraine, did not hesitate to publicly express their displeasure and suspicions. Joe Biden was ruthless, using only 16 seconds to point the finger at Putin and highlight his brutality. The history of confrontations between the Russian leader and Navalny reached its peak in August 2020, when the anti-corruption activist fell seriously ill on a flight within Russia, which prompted an emergency landing. He was later transferred to Germany for treatment. Several independent laboratories confirmed the presence of Novichok, a nerve agent, in his body. Navalny accused the Kremlin of trying to kill him with poisoning, a method used by the former KGB, the secret service of the then USSR, which Colonel Putin once led. The incident worsened Russia's already tense relations with Western countries and triggered a series of sanctions against Russian officials. In December of that year, the British newspaper The Times accused the Russian government of a second assassination attempt against the Kremlin critic before he was flown to Berlin for additional treatment. Navalny recovered and returned to Russia, where he was arrested, sparking new international protests. The leaders of the European Union condemned what they called the assassination of the opposition leader, and international television also took a stand. In the last 20 years, there have been numerous cases of poisoning against Russian dissidents and oligarchs who distanced themselves from Putin and were poisoned. In March 2022, Russian oligarch and former owner of Chelsea FC, Roman Abramovich, showed symptoms of alleged poisoning during peace talks on the border between Ukraine and Belarus. Along with the businessman, a group of Ukrainian negotiators also suffered severe symptoms. Western countries had sanctioned Abramovich for his close ties to the Kremlin, and he even questioned the Russian invasion of Ukraine. In 2018, former Russian double agent Sergei Skripal and his daughter Yulia were poisoned with the Novichok nerve agent, the same used against Navalny in the UK. Both Skripal and his daughter survived the poisoning after receiving medical treatment. The then British Prime Minister, Theresa May, condemned it, stating that it was a direct act of Russia. Even earlier, in 2006, former Russian spy Alexander Litvinenko died of poisoning in London. A critic of Putin, he defected from Russian intelligence services and sought refuge in the UK in 2004. The list of victims continues. Of all of them, Navalny was the most visible and the most exposed, as international media outlets confirmed. The story of the German television was prophetic. Navalny, the opponent, the accuser, the #1 public enemy of Vladimir Putin, was silenced. And all signs point to the Kremlin's top leadership, although Russia denies it.